Now we're ready to begin the activity on the introduction of magnetic fields. In this exploration, students will realize that magnets don't need to touch something in order to exert their force. When we think about force, a lot of times when you push on something, you have to actually be in contact with it in order to exert that force. Magnets and charges don't need to have that contact in order to exert their force. And we can clearly see that when I bring my bar magnet back and I bring another magnet nearby. What you'll see is that it has the ability to apply a force without actually being in contact. This is the key learning that we want to elicit from students in this activity. In the directions, it tells you to use magnetic film available from Arbor Science, which is a great way to conduct a lab. I want to share with you an alternative way to demonstrate magnetic fields. And so what I went down to our tech ed department and I had them cut a board for me that has a groove, and I can take my magnet and I can place it into that groove. And what I'm going to use are iron filings in order to see the magnetic field. So I'm going to take a piece of paper and I'm going to put it over top of my bar magnet, and then I'm going to sprinkle the iron filings on top. So I have my iron filings. I'm going to just sprinkle them on top of my magnet and reveal the pattern of the magnetic field. Now this can be a little bit messy. You have iron filings, but I like it because it does clearly show the lines for the students, and they can interact with it and pick up the filings, put it back down, and then if they tap the paper, they can get the field lines right back again. In another part of the lab, I can take one north pole and another north pole and I can bring them pretty close together. I'll put my paper over top and I'll sprinkle my iron filings on again to discover what's happening in between, and it reveals those field lines pretty clearly. If I take my paper off and I switch this around so that I have a south pole and a north pole close together, I can bring my iron filings right back and you can actually see what happens as I throw more on there, and those two, in this case, the field lines are connected between the North Pole and the South Pole. One thing you'll want to take advantage of in this particular lab is to make use of the media. So I have my magnet down here and I'm going to sprinkle iron filings on to reveal that magnetic field. What I want to point out is that students could videotape it just as I am doing here. You could also have students work on taking pictures so that they create their own content. We call this user-created content, where the students create the situation and take a picture of it. No copyright issues with that. As students finish up the hands-on portion of this activity, you're going to want to consider what it is that students will be doing to communicate their understanding of what it is that they did. That's why the media can play an important role. As students are doing the lab, it's important for them to be able to collect video, to collect audio, and to collect images so that they'll be able to use this somewhere else to be able to communicate what it is that they learned about magnetic fields.